In this tutorial, we're going to look at organic chemistry, and our focus will be on amides. So what are amides? So amide have this general formula. Okay, just a minute. Alright, so we are talking about amides. So whenever you see a structure of this formula, so the general formula, it's a general structure rather. We have carbon, double bond with oxygen, then we can have a chain there, then bonded to an amine here. So this is what we call an amide. Okay, but we need to understand that this amine group can also be replaced by, we can have this group, or maybe we just have this, depending on whether it is secondary amide or primary amide. So let's look at secondary and primary amide. I will give an example. Let's say I have a structure of this kind. So I have this, the R group there. Then I have my hydrogen like that. So how many bonds has this carbon? So this carbon has 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 bonds. So what could be the name of this amide? What could be the name of this amide? So, or what could be the class of this amide rather? So this class of amide, in fact, let me put, instead of having another group here, let me have hydrogen. Carbon can only be bonded to 4 things, right? Because of its valences, just so let me say this is a group. Then we have hydrogens like that. It is only, this carbon is only bonded to one group. Okay. So what could be the name? I mean, what could be the amide? What could be the class of this amide? So this is a primary amide. Okay. This is a primary amide. Now let's look at a situation whereby I have this amide. In this case, this is my other group there. So our focus now will be on this nitrogen. This nitrogen is bonded to how many groups? So it has this bond, this group, and we're considering this also as another other group. So it's bonded to 2 groups, and for that reason we call it as a secondary amide. This amide will be a secondary amide. So it's very important that we understand that. So this is a secondary amide because this nitrogen is bonded to 2 groups. This is the group, and we consider that as another group. Okay, let's look at another structure. Let's say I have this structure. Okay, let's have this structure like that. Then let's say I have the R group there. You see that this nitrogen is bonded to this R group, this group, this R group, and this R group. So it is bonded to 3 different groups, and for that reason this will be a tertiary amide. So what are we trying to say? The point I'm trying to drive across here is that we can have a tertiary amide. We can also have maybe a primary amide and also a secondary amide. We can have those kind of amides. Okay, so we need to understand that. Let's look at an example. Let's say I have, this is my compound I have, let's say it is like this. What would be the name of this amide? What would be the name of this amide? So I just need to count how many. Okay, in fact, let me just put like this. So I just need to count how many carbons do I have. The carbons I have one carbon there and another one there. There are two. So because there are two, it's ethane, right? Ethane. But this is an amide. So I'll remove this E and replace amide. So it will be ethanamide. Okay, that is the name of this amide. So it will be ethanamide. Let's look at another scenario. Let's say I have this. So let's say I have this structure like this. Okay, this is the structure I have, CH3 there. So how can I name this amide? Because of the presence of this nitrogen. Okay, and this nitrogen is bonded to different things. I'll start with N. So the name will be N. Then you see this N is attached to this methyl group. So it will be N-methyl. Just like we number them. But we don't number here. We don't number like one methyl what. We just put N. So it will be N-methyl. And you see, this is a meth. This is a meth. So we can see that we have this structure. When you're talking about meth, we said that we can have methane like that. When it loses one hydrogen, we call it meth. Okay. So this is the N-methyl, like that. Then what are we remaining with if we remove this? Our other group there. So we have this carbon bonded to this hydrogen. Okay. Then we also have this nitrogen bonded to a methyl group and also another group there which is H. So what would be the name now of this compound? So this is what we are saying. Because of this N, I'll say N, then this group, it's the methyl. Okay? Methyl group. Now what's the overall name of this? So this one, it's methane. Okay? Methane amide. So that would be the name of this amide. So let's look at another example so that we just get to have a clear picture. Let me draw it like this. then I put something like this. Because of this N, I'll say N. You see, N, I have a group here, which is an ethyl group. So I'll say N ethyl. Then I have another group this side. This group, we can number it 1 carbon, 2, 3, 4. So it is butane, right? So I'll say butane. I'll remove E. I'll put amide. So this is the name. It is N-ethyl butane amide. Okay. We can even have a structure of this kind, whereby I get to have this let me put 2 here. Okay, so how can you name this? So you number it 1, 2. That's carbon number 1, carbon number 2. As carbon number 2, we have this group, which is a ketone, right? Because it's acting as a substituent, it will be known as oxo. So at position number 2, this ketone, when it is acting as a substituent, as a prefix, it's known as exo. So oxo at position number 2. Then what is the name of this amide? So we count the number of carbons we have. So 1 carbon there, 2 carbon, 3 there, 4. So it is butane, right? Because of this amide is an amide, so we put butamide. So that is how you get to name this compound. Let's have another example whereby I have maybe this structure. Okay, you can have this. Maybe this, like this. So how can I name this compound? I'll start with N. So N, what do I have? I have a methyl group there and an ethyl group. Because a methyl comes first than an ethyl, ethyl comes first than a methyl, right? Because it comes first than M. So I'll start with the ethyl. So N ethyl. Then I'll put again N, because just like we number it, when you're dealing with numbers, if there is 4 here, if the ethyl is at the methyl is at position 4 and the ethyl is at position 4, we say 4 ethyl, then we put again 4 methyl. So this is the same logic we apply even here. So 4 ethyl, N methyl, N ethyl, N methyl. So we count now the carbons. How many carbons will this parent chain have? So 1, 2, 3, 4. So there are 4. So it is butane, right? But because this is an amide, it will be butamide. Butamide. Like that. Let me just write it properly. So it is butane amide. Okay, like that. So it is N-ethyl N-methylbutane amide. So this is how you get to name amide. Thank you for watching.